Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler welcoming you back. Getting set now for match one of the PBA World Championship. Time now for the introduction of our two bowlers.
The number 8 qualifier owns 1 PBA Tour title and a PBA Rookie of the Year award, representing Australia, Belmo, Jason Belmonte.
Jason's best finish at a major, 6th at last year's U.S. Open. Only 1 tour title on his resume for now. Great start for a guy who's had great issues on this Viper oil pattern. Now, the intro for your number 7 seed.
The number 7 player is a 6-time PBA Tour champion, former PBA Player of the Year. From Pflugerville, Texas, the Big Nasty, Wes Malott.
The Big Nasty, the 2009 PBA Player of the Year, won 3 times that season.
Let's do this.
Hasn't won, though, since March 1st of 2009. Wide right of target.
2-4-10 split.
That's not how you do it.
Leaves the 2-4-10 and a tough early start, Randy, for Wes.
Yeah, he just looked like he fell off balance, lost it at the bottom of the swing, and completely missed the finger holes when he let go of it.
Trying to help me out already. Give you 7.
And Rob, I watched Wes in warm-ups, and he looked like he was struggling with his timing. He didn't look comfortable.
Almost gets the pickup.
Leave it there. Leave it there. Come on.
And what an early break that would have been for Malott.
Well, he catches the 2-pin just a little too skinny, throws it in front of the 10. The 10-pin wiggles, but doesn't go down.
So Malott starts with an open frame. Here he is in the 2nd. That looks familiar.
Little early, guys. A little early. God dang it.
Well, that looked like a better shot, but same kind of result, only this time it's the 2-8-10. As you take a look at Wes's arsenal, he's going with a Nomad Pearl. He may want to look to go to something a little bit stronger because the last 2 shots, the 2-4-10 in the first, the 2-8-10 here, have both gone light. They never recovered down the lane.
And a miserable start for Malott. And that has to help Jason Belmonte's confidence on so many levels, because his confidence on this oil pattern, Randy, has to be at a bottom line all-time low. He readily admits to us, this is my worst oil pattern. In fact, he finished 115th at the Pepsi Viper Championship, did Belmonte. But it's back-to-back opening jacks for Belmo here.
And a completely different game plan that he came into this championship with, bowling on the Viper oil pattern, Rob. He's actually throwing a urethane bowling ball. He took some advice from Bill O'Neill. O'Neill kept telling him, you've got to move farther to the right and straighten everything up. And the only way a high-rev player can do that, like Jason Belmonte, is throw plastic or urethane. You see that grip? Digs those fingers almost like a conventional grip with his 2 fingers, no thumb, urethane bowling ball, nice and straight and fast.
3 in a row. There's his wife, Kimberly, in attendance. Jason, Kimberly, and their beautiful daughter, Aria Rose, made the long trip from Orange, New South Wales, Australia, to be here in Las Vegas. And he'll have family with him for the next couple weeks on the tour, which will be a great calming influence for him. Here is Wes Malott in the 3rd after back-to-back open frames. So strike-a-lot Malott finally gets all 10 to drop.
He's got to go really straight with the equipment he's using. If he gives up any part of the lane to the right, the ball is not strong enough to recover down the lane.
Take a look at how these two guys got here. Again, the top 8 through the World Series of Bowling, qualifying for the PBA World Championship. Belmo, a slow start. Then you see that spike as he crawled his way up to the 8th seed. West did not like that.
Guys, you got to wait till I let go of it. Come on.
Crowd a little
I
over
appreciate
anxious,
it,
Rob, and
gosh.
cheering one of their favorite stars on. And last couple of times on the left lane, Wes has been clearly distracted. You see him pull right up out of that shot immediately. So he goes back-to-back open frames to start. His opponent's perfect through 3 frames, and right now Wes feels like he's in a gunfight, and all he brought was a knife.
Feels like everybody's against him. He's even got the crowd that seems to be affecting him, even though they are clearly supporting him as well. So Jason Belmonte, a lights-out start. Perfect through 3. Looking to grab a 4-bagger. Jason drops the first ham bone of the calendar year as we take a look at his arsenal.
He's going with the natural, a urethane bowling ball. If you wanted to go even straighter, you could go to the white Team Storm, which is plastic. But look at the difference between what he's using and what he can go to.
All right, through the face of that one.
Watch this right here. Jason Belmonte at release is just going to wrench on this shot. And that's what makes that ball jump a little bit in the front part of the lane and causes it to go high.
Leaving the 6-10. This is first spare shot of the day. No problems with that one, so Belmo remains clean. 4 strikes and now a spare.
So far, Rob, that game plan's looking pretty good. And again, the game plan, Jason Belmonte likes to overpower oil patterns. And he told us yesterday, he says, you know, I just can't do that on Viper.
He was telling me today that he is a stubborn bowler, but this Viper oil pattern is even more stubborn than he is. It will not yield to his style of play. West dialed in there. So that's his 2nd strike. So he now has the same number of open frames as he does strikes.
And in talking with him yesterday, the message that I got loud and clear, Rob, was how hungry he is to win again. You know, he had the phenomenal season back when he was Player of the Year just a couple seasons ago. Last season did not win a title, did make shows. And he told us, he said, I'm hungry. I've rededicated myself. I've practiced. I'm working at it now. And, you know, Wes isn't a big practicer.
The late kick on the 10. So some much needed momentum for the Big Nasty. Back-to-back jacks in the 5th and the 6th. But it's Belmo with the lead. And when we return, we'll tell you about Jason's new approach to taking the bite out of the Viper. Welcome you back to Las Vegas and our live coverage of the 2011 PBA World Championship. This day 1 of 3 consecutive days of broadcasts here on the ESPN Family Network of the PBA World Championship. Time now for the Lumber Liquidators Know the Wood with Randy.
As your #1 seed, Bill O'Neill gets to choose the oil pattern that we will be using for the finals of this major championship. And he chose Viper, and with good reason. Who can forget what Bill did just a couple of months ago at the Pepsi Viper Championship, where he climbed the ladder, demolished the field, averaging over 240 en route to his 3rd title. Today, on this 37-foot oil pattern, look for the players to go straight early, but as the pattern breaks down, the players are going to be able to create multiple angles to get their bowling balls to the pocket.
And Randy, we're talking about the problems that Belmo had on this Viper. Is 115th. He finished at the Pepsi Viper Championship earlier this season, saying, you're talking about the angles and getting straighter. I need to straighten my angles down lane and make quicker changes. try and trust himself a little bit more rather than being stubborn and bullheaded versus this Viper oil pattern.
Very little need for changes in Belmo's game thus far.
Well, you know, we talk about all the power that he can create because he uses 2 hands and no thumb, but here's how he creates speed. I want you to just watch his footwork. You see that quick step right in the middle there? He creates a lot of speed with his feet, and that's how he creates ball speed. For those of you watching at home, if you want to throw the bowling ball faster, you got to get your body moving faster.
Slow, slow, and then a burst.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Back-to-back jacks. Strike number 6. Belmo in cruise control.
And that's how you answer the big nasty. When he finally catches a double, Belmonte comes right back on top of that and throws 2 strikes, 1 in the 6th and then in the 7th. The best Wes Malott can shoot right now, 238. Jason Belmonte right now at 238.
If you're in Wes's ear right now, what advice are you passing on to him?
Don't miss.
Sounds kind of
It's
obvious.
true.
I might have been able to pass that one on.
Don't miss.
Take a look at other finishers here at the PBA World Championship. Malott's effort leaves the 2-pin.
Oh, my God.
Michael Fagan finishing 13th. There's Tom Smallwood, who won this event last season in Wichita, finished 14th this year. And here's Malott's last effort.
And if you noticed, every shot that's missed, with the exception of the 4-pin, and even that shot, every shot that has not struck has been light. Shows 3 strikes and then 4 shots that were all light, 2 of them being splits in the 1st and 2nd frame. Some heavy hitters there. Pete Weber, Tommy Jones, 21st and 2nd. Ryan Schaefer, the Bulldog, at 24th.
So here's the nasty through 7 frames, Randy. 2 open frames, 2 spares, 3 strikes.
Oh, you never know.
And Wes in a 51-pin hole, but things can turn quickly in this sport, particularly right here in the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Much needed. Strike.
Well, right now, Wes Malott can strike out and shoot 217. Belmonte's already in the 230, so Wes's mindset is simple. Strike out 8th, 9th, and 10th, see what happens, but he needs help from Jason Belmonte.
And again, this is the worst oil pattern for Jason Belmonte. He will openly admit that to you. But he has had massive success today on it.
Watch how fast the feet are. There's the first open, unless he can convert the 4.67. I've never seen it converted on television. And again, it's just amazing how quickly things can turn around. Now, with that being said, let's just give him 9 out here. He's still in the 220s. Remember, the best Wes Malott can shoot 217. No time to panic yet. Well, Rob, you brought up an interesting point just a couple of frames ago when you were talking about Belmonte, in that he has to pay attention and make adjustments a little bit sooner, a little bit more on the fly. Right now, the lanes may be going through transition. Now it's time for Jason Belmonte to make an adjustment the next time he's up on the right lane, which will be the 10th frame.
He admitted to me today, I've been too slow to change on this oil pattern. He admits he is a stubborn bowler, but this oil pattern has more stubbornness in it than does Belmo. We begin the 9th. Leaves the 10.
Again, all he has to do is fill frames 9th and 10th, meaning a mark. Spare or strike, 10th frame with good count, or excuse me, 9th and 10th with good count, he shuts out Wes Malott.
Covers the 10.
ESPN, your NBA destination. Tonight, catch a pair of games. First at 8 Eastern. The Red Hot Mavs taking on Tim Duncan and the Spurs. Then at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Portland taking on Steve Nash and the Suns. NBA Friday on ESPN. Both of those games also available online at ESPN3.com and on your phone. Wes in the ninth. Oh, so close to a 7-10. And that is all she wrote. And Belmo will move on from the 8 seed spot to take on 6 seed Michael Haugen Jr. And Wes Malott's troubles on TV continue.
He actually threw a really nice shot there, just didn't strike. And I have to question the ball choice that he decided to go with. I know that going straight early on in the Viper is the right way to go, but I think that ball was just a little weak for him down lane.
Again, there's Jason Belmonte in the background. Will advance. Let's take on 6 seed Michael Haugen Jr. Again, this day 1 of 3 consecutive days on the ESPN Family Networks. Malott with a strike. Too little, too late. Belmo with one more win will move on to our live coverage tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. That's a new start time, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Mika Koivuniemi, Chris Barnes
for next week.
will be in action as well. And he talks about next week. We'll be back here in Las Vegas next Saturday,
today.
live on ABC, the Tournament of Champions, and a huge purse for that tournament.
Oh.
Well, I like the fact that Wes admitted that he had to get refocused and rededicated. He's worked on the loop in the back of his swing. You know, he's got that little figure-8 move there, and sometimes when that ball gets too far behind him in the downswing, there's too much angle created, and that's when he starts missing wide right. But he's dedicated or rededicated himself. He's practicing and working at it again.
I expect to see that go that far. Come on, mate.
So, Jason, you move on. You admit you had problems with this Viper. Why the great success here thus far?
Look, like I said at the beginning, I just wanted to play a little bit smarter. Normally, I'm a lot more aggressive with a stronger ball. And today I've gone with the urethane ball and just kind of looked at trying to hit the pocket and let this thing do its job. And that's all I've really planned to do today.
Jason, last time on this right lane, you went through the nose. What adjustment do you make right here?
Got any tips for me? Help me out here.
How about 2 and 1 left?
You got it, boss. I'll try that one.
Jason Belmonte advances to face Michael Haugen Jr.
So Belmonte, knowing he has moved on and defeating Wes Malott, now has his eyes on Michael Haugen Jr.
Right now, if Jason's smart, he changes balls to shoot the 5-pin, throw a strike ball at that 5-pin. That urethane ball's starting to look a little weak down lane. The oil pushes down the lane, back end starts to go away. Now it's time for maybe him to look at something else in terms of equipment.
Kimberly, his wife, beaming as hubby moves on and goes one step closer to winning the PBA World Championship, but he'll have to get through this guy first. Michael Haugen Jr., your 6th seed on deck.